Alright, so in this problem, I have x is equal to 256 to the power of negative x. So to solve this, I'm going to start by taking the square root on both sides. So now I have the square root of x is equal to the square root of 256 to the power of negative x. So before we do that, actually, I'm going to rewrite 256 to the power of negative x as 1 over 256 to the power of x. So now I can multiply x with 256 to the power of x, and this is equal to 1. Now I'm going to divide both sides by x. So now I have 256 to the power of x is equal to 1 over x. And now I can go ahead and take the power of 1 over x on both sides. So now I have 256 to the power of x to the power of 1 over x is equal to 1 over x to the power of 1 over x. Now x and 1 over x, these two cancel out. So now I have 256 is equal to 1 over x to the power of 1 over x. And 256, that's the same thing as 4 to the power of 4. So I have 4 to the power of 4 is equal to 1 over x to the power of 1 over x. Now, if I have something in the form a to the power of a is equal to b to the power of b, this means that a is equal to b. So, in this case, 4 is equal to 1 over x. Now, if I multiply both sides by x, these two cancel out, and I get 4x is equal to 1. Now, if I divide both sides by 4, I get x is equal to 1 over 4. So now to check, I have x is equal to 256 to the power of negative x. And x is equal to 1/4, so I have 1/4 is equal to 256 to the power of negative 1/4. And this is the same thing as 1/4 is equal to 1 over 256 to the power of 1 over 4. Now, 256 to the power of 1 over 4 is 4, so I have 1/4 is 1/4, and this is right. Alright, so in this problem, I have 2 to the power of x squared over 4 to the power of x is equal to 16. Now, I'm going to rewrite this as 2 to the power of x squared over 2 squared to the power of x is equal to 2 to the power of 4. So this way, all my terms have a base of 2. Now, if I have something in the form a to the power of m to the power of n, this is equal to a to the power of m times n. So 2 to the power of 2 to the power of x, that's going to equal 2 to the power of 2 times x, which is 2x. So now I have 2 to the power of x squared over 2 to the power of 2x is equal to 2 to the power of 4. Now, if I have something in the form a to the power of m over a to the power of n, this is equal to a to the power of m minus n. So now I have 2 to the power of x squared minus 2x is equal to 2 to the power of 4. Now, if I have something in the form a to the power of m is equal to a to the power of n, this means that m is equal to n. So in this case, x squared minus 2x, which is m, is equal to 4. So I have x squared minus 2x is equal to 4. And to solve this, I'm going to subtract 4 on both sides. So these two cancel out. Now I have x squared minus 2x minus 4 is equal to 0. Now to solve this, I'm going to use the quadratic formula, which is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So in this case, b is -2, a is 1, and c is -4. So I have x is equal to -2 plus or minus the square root of b squared, so -2 squared minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is -4. And I have all of this over 2a, so 2 times 1. Now this is equal to 2 plus or minus the square root of -2 squared is 4, minus -4 times -4 is positive 16 over 2. So now this is equal to 2 plus or minus the square root of 20 over 2. And the square root of 20, that's the same thing as 2 root 5. So now this is simplified into 1 plus or minus the square root of 5. Alright, so in this problem, I have x to the power of 21 plus x to the power of 14 is equal to 36. So I'm first going to rewrite this as x to the power of 7 times 3 plus x to the power of 7 times 2 is equal to 36. Now, I'm going to put this as x to the power of 7 to the power of 3 plus x to the power of 7 to the power of 2 is equal to 36. Now I can let x to the power of 7 equal to the variable y. So now I have y to the power of 3 plus y squared is equal to 36. Now if I subtract 36 on both sides, these two cancel out, and I get y to the power of 3 plus y squared minus 36 is equal to 0. Now -36, I can rewrite this as -27 minus 9. And now I can rewrite this as y to the power of 3 minus 3 to the power of 3 plus y squared minus 3 squared is equal to 0. So if I have something in the form a to the power of 3 minus b to the power of 3, this is equal to a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared. And if I have something in the form a squared minus b squared, this is equal to a plus b times a minus b. So in this case, I can rewrite y to the power of 3 minus 3 to the power of 3 as y minus 3 times y squared plus 3 squared plus 3y, plus I can rewrite y squared minus 3 squared as y plus 3 times y minus 3, and this is equal to 0. Now if I factor out y minus 3, I get y minus 3 times y squared plus 9 plus 3y plus y plus 3. This is equal to 0. And this is simplifies into y minus 3 times y squared plus 4y plus 12 is equal to 0. So this gives me two equations. Y minus 3 is equal to 0, which means y equals 3. This is one solution. And y squared plus 4y plus 12 is equal to 0. So to solve this, we have to use the quadratic formula, which is -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And I'm not going to waste your time actually plugging them in, but if you do, you end up getting that it's less than 0, so this won't work out. So y equals 3 is my only solution to this equation. Now remember how we let x to the power of 7 equal y. So now I have x to the power of 7 equal 3, meaning x is equal to the 7th root of 3. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to solve the equation 8 to the power of x is equal to 32. So, to solve this, I'm going to start by taking the log on both sides. So I get log of 8 to the power of x is equal to log of 32. And now if I have something in the form log of a to the power of b, I can move this x1 and b to the front of the logarithm. So this is turned into b times log a. So log a to the power of b is equal to b times log a. So now in the case of log 8 to the power of x, we can think of x as b, so we can move x to the front of the logarithm. So I get x times log of 8 is equal to log of 32. Now, from here, I'm going to divide both sides by log 8 because we want to isolate x, because that's what we're trying to find the value of. So now these two cancel out, and I get x is equal to log of 32 over log of 8. Now, log of 32 is the same thing as log of 8 times 4. So I get log of 8 times 4 over log of 32. And if I have something in the form log of a times b, this is equal to log a plus log b. So in this case, this is going to equal log of 8 plus log of 4, and I have this over log of 32. Sorry, I have this over log of 8. Now, this turns into log 8 over log 8 plus log 4 over log 8. So now these two cancel out to get 1. So I get x is equal to 1 plus log of 4 over log of 8. Now, log of 4 is the same thing as log of 2 squared. And log of 8 is the same thing as log of 2 to the power of 3. So now if I have something in the form log of a to the power of b, again, I can move b to the front, so it's going to be b times log a. So that's exactly what I'm going to do with both of these. So I get x is equal to 1 plus, I can move the 2 to the front. So 2 times log 2 over the same thing with 3, so 3 times log 2. So now these two cancel out, and I get x is equal to 1 plus 2 over 3, which is equal to 1 is the same thing as 3 over 3, so 3 over 3 plus 2 over 3, which is 5 over 3. So x is 5 over 3. Now, how do we know that this is the right answer? So, going back, we have a to the power of x equals 32. And we're plugging in 5 over 3. So we get 8 to the power of 5 over 3 is equal to 32. Now, if you already know, 8 is the same thing as 2 to the power of 3. So I get 2 to the power of 3 to the power of 5 over 3 is equal to 33 is the same thing. 32 is the same thing as 2 to the power of 5. And if I have something in the form a to the power of m to the power of n, this is equal to a to the power of m times n. So these two 3's cancel out, and I get 2 to the power of 5 is equal to 2 to the power of 5, or this is the same thing as 32 is equal to 32. This is right. Now, I also have a second method of solving this problem. So for the second method, we have the same equation, a to the power of x is equal to 32, and this is a simpler method. So for this method, I'm actually just going to start by rewriting these two numbers. So 8, I'm going to rewrite as 2 to the power of 3, and 32, I'm going to rewrite as 2 to the power of 5. So I'm rewriting both of these as the same bases, which now it makes them much easier to solve. 2 to the power of 3 to the power of x is the same thing as 2 to the power of 3x, which is equal to 2 to the power of 5. And because these two have the same bases, a to the power of m is equal to a to the power of n, meaning m is equal to n. So 3x is equal to 5, and x is equal to 5 over 3. So that's another method of solving this equation. Now, if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and share this to any of your friends or family. Thank you.